Hello, Cancer. My name is NiJiLL. You have found Alchemy. Welcome to your fall 2025 reading. This is going to cover September, October, November. It is just an overview. Each month we will re-pull the cards. So in September, we'll re-pull these and we'll build an entire reading around them. But right now we're just touching upon the energy. Up here is just your sort of overarching energy for the fall. All that said, let's get started. You do have Smithsonite, and this is sort of something that might help you through the fall. And like I've been telling everybody, you can find a very small piece of this and carry it with you. No, I am not selling you anything, but I also am warning you that the source matters. And sometimes even if the source is sweet and honest, the place they get it from might not have been. So you have to be really, really careful about where you buy it. A large brick and mortar store, perhaps. If it is online, try not to go to one of those Facebook groups. Try not to go to eBay or Amazon. Really seriously look at your source. Otherwise, it won't be doing anything for you, even though it might be very pretty. All that said, let's get started. It does say Smithsonite, and this is number 51 in this deck. And this is attributed or sort of connected to Pisces and Virgo. Interesting, huh? And what this does is it soothes anxiety, it supports self-esteem. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is something I don't have in my collection. I have a pretty big collection, so I'm thinking seriously about getting some. It seems like a very interesting stone. But anyway, here you have the darkening, and this is number 12 in this deck. And before your reading, I did Sagittarius, and Sagittarius also pulled this. So I don't know if you're dealing with a Sagittarius. You might be. But this particular card asks us to examine what hides in the shadows, right? What causes us to look in the shadows and finally admit and sort of shine a light there and admit what we are, what we see, what is truly there, right? And we also have to talk about what keeps us from seeing the light, what keeps it dark, right? It could be an aspect of ourselves that is suppressed, repressed from parental conditioning, from our environment. It could be a part of ourselves that's just screaming to get out. It could be anything like that. I don't want to go down a list, but you see what I'm saying here, right? So there is a darkening there. There is something dark that perhaps may come to light. You do have a victory here on the table. And it says, I shall celebrate, I shall rise, I will let victory make me wise. Number 35 in this deck. And from my readings anyway, when these particular cards come in the upright and not in reverse, this is something that is on the table for you for this fall. But it's going to be something you have to work towards. So it's available to you for the taking, but there are steps you're going to have to take to achieve it. And it's true victory, for sure. Right here, you have the truth, and there's the sword of truth right there, clarity, and there it is, the secret's revealed. I think it has something to do with what is in the dark there, what you're going to be seeing, what you're slicing through the darkness to find. You have some air energy here on the table, and it does say seek a union of mind and body. Your mind and body might be out of sync, and when I say that, I don't mean, it may not be specifically that. It may be something you're doing in your waking world and what you're meant to be doing are out of sync. It could be a timing card for Libra, because I know that Libra is September, October here. And it is the only air sign that's prevalent in the fall. You could have air highly aspected in your chart, but also we see the sword of truth. And, we know swords is air. So, I mean, once again, Spirit is sort of doubling down on find the truth, seek the truth. You're going to be moving up, and there's the card of victory. It says you're increasing your power, the ladder of success, moving up, clarity, moving up. Okay, pretty interesting. Transcending. That popped into my head just now. You're transcending something. Transcending something with that sword of truth. Here on the other side, we have the Saints and Mystics deck, and you pulled what's considered a mystic. It says Plato, the student of the universe. So I usually take these in a very symbolic way. We look at Plato, and this is number 34 in this deck, by the way, and we look at Plato. Plato held the idea that the soul's essence longed to be free. There could be something that, you want to free yourself of, or it could be something that's going to happen this fall that you may not Many of you may not relate to what I'm saying right now. Maybe some of you do, but I think a lot of you may not. But keep this close to you. One of the quotes that Plato is famous for is, let me see if I can get this right. We can forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. And that was Plato. What did I say? Afraid of the dark, afraid of the light. Full-grown people afraid of the light. There may be something you don't want to see. And, it doesn't have to be terrible. It really doesn't. It could just be a truth that you sort of suppress because it's convenient to do that. All right, so just, we'll keep that under our hats. We have innovative here. Interesting. It says you are a self-starter with a very innovative way of creating opportunity. And I do think there's going to be opportunity here. Your determination, your endurance are powerful and will help you get through the rough times and reach success. I am innovative. And this is number 1 in this deck. So it's almost like something brand new is starting here. Innovative is like having new ideas. There's something new here. There is something new here. And I don't know if you watched me deal the cards, but you could always go back and look. This fell out by itself. So this is a very strong indication that this is your reading, Cancer, right? We have Cancer number 4 in this deck. I like when that happens. Yeah, but these 2 cards came out. Let me see. You have Earth, and this is grounded energy that you're going to need to get through this time. So you're going to need air to cut through the bullshit, to cut through your mind. You're going to need Earth to ground you, right? And you have here, I want to see if I can pronounce this correctly, ÄLKÖMÜ. ÄLKÖMÜ, yeah. ÄLKÖMÜ. And this is your inner child. Interesting. It's not the first time that's come out. Something about your inner child, something about the way you were primed to address certain things. Maybe you were primed to put yourself last. Maybe you were primed to suppress certain talents that you have or certain wishes that you had for your life. Could be. Here you have a new moon in Libra. A new romantic cycle begins. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. I know it says that here, and that could very well be for many of you, but just keep an open mind. There is a new cycle beginning, something innovative, something new. There's a victory on the table. There is a lightening where there was once darkness. There is you cutting through the bullshit. There is this stone that may help you this fall if you can locate one that's really accurate and real. Now, the new moon in Libra is October 21st this year. So we'll keep that date very close to us as we go forth in the reading, because that date really may mean something. There may be something happening on October 21st. As a matter of fact, I am going to put it right here. October 21st. Okay? Put it right here for us to refer back to, because sometimes I get so caught up with the readings. For some reason, I feel like this date's important here, Cancer. Now, as we go on to your month by month, let's move some of this stuff out of the way so we can grab this. Now, with these big cards, I do not take them in reverse, but I take note of them when they do come in reverse. And this card originally came in reverse. Now, in this particular deck, this card is just indicative of fire. There is no astrological association. It's just elemental. So this is your 6 of Wands, right? This is it's a card of victory. There it is in September. This is a card of victory. It's a card of achievement. It is a card of a challenging quest that's successful, right? Completion. Really, really nice energy, but it did come in reverse. And we are reading it upright. So this is definitely a victory, but I don't know if you perceive it that way. There is something inside you that may perceive this very differently initially, but I do think you kind of surrender to it and see, well, hey, no matter how I feel, it is a victory. Period. End of story. Let's look at the rest of them and we'll figure this out. You do have so you have the 9 of Cups coming in reverse, and this is Jupiter and Pisces energy, and this is sort of this is an underlying sort of feeling of dissatisfaction, even though you have achieved something. Perhaps this is why the card was initially in reverse. Perhaps you have a deep wish here. It's hard to explain. It's like if, let's say you get a job offer that's amazing, right? Let's say you're searching for a job and you get this job offer that's twice the amount of money that you were even looking for. And you're like, wow, this is a great opportunity. This is going to set me up for life. However, deep inside you, you wanted a totally different occupation. And maybe in September, this will gnaw at you, right? It'll be like, this is great. I know I accomplished something amazing. However, I really want it to be this. And for some reason, that is really bubbling up inside me. Likewise, this could be a relationship for some of you, where you meet the person of your dreams. Like, this is an amazing human being. However, there is this other person that you have kept repressed, that you can't let go of. And maybe this person isn't as attractive. Maybe they don't make as much money. Maybe they're not as good on paper, but yet it's something you can't let go of. And although it's been repressed and pushed down, in September, it seems like something is bubbling up to the surface here. You do have the Nine of Swords coming in sideways. Mercury in Gemini energy. And we know that the Nine of Swords is anxiety, could be sleepless nights, right? Worry. It could be insomnia, could be. But it's coming in sideways, so this is a choice you have to make, right? This is like, do I worry about this though? Because I just achieved this thing that most people can't, or I've met this person of a lifetime. Do I throw that away? It's a decision, because my sideways cards are always decisions. It's a decision you're going to have to make, Cancer. But look, at the end of the day, you have strength in the upright, and this is pure Leo energy. And what is strength? It's self-mastery. It's the removal of doubts. So you are going to make a decision, I think, and I think you're going to stand strong in that, whatever that means, right? You hear at the end of the day, you have the Magician in reverse. The Magician in reverse can be read in many ways, depending on the reading, right? Some people say it's Aquarius energy. Some people say it's Gemini energy. However, in my opinion, because of the rest of these cards, this could be an indication that your current goals or current situation may not align with your wishes and or true abilities. So there is that little thing inside you that's kind of doing this. And it does say reunion with a soul tie. So yes, this could be taken two ways. And I think that both are applicable for Cancer, right? Depending on which group you fall in. It could be what I said, right? There could be this relationship from your past that gnaws at you, but this also could be a reunion with that old part of you, right? This old goal, this old wish, this old thing that you kind of put on a shelf and said, whatever. But there is something here that is gnawing at you in September. And when we add this up and we break it down, we get that Mars energy. It's Aries energy, right? And when we look at this Aries energy, it is very sort of passionate. So yes, this passion can be towards a person, or it can be towards a goal. This passion, this old passion is bubbling up, right? And we have two number 9s here, which means you are almost there. You're almost there at a point where you're going to, it's a crossroads. Both roads seem good for different reasons, right? And you have the burden of choice now, Cancer. October, let me see. Wow, you have a lot of the same energy here. Look, so you have the 3 of Cups, right? And this is truly in the upright. The 3 of Cups is a card of celebration. It's water like yourself, Mercury. It's Cancer energy, you know? But this is celebratory energy. It's harvest energy, right? Everybody's celebrating something. You see the egg there. You see the celebrations going on. So you have this beautiful energy, but you also have this, let me see. You have the Star in reverse. Wow, you have 3 major arcana here. So you have the Star in reverse and you have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, right? And you have Aquarius energy and you have this Jupiter fixed energy with the Wheel of Fortune. And it's like feeling disconnected from these festivities. Here we go again. Feeling like there was still a wish that wasn't granted, even with all this good energy. Feeling like you want the wheel to stop turning for a minute. Yeah, the burden of choice. And here, finally, you have the Emperor coming in sideways, another choice, but this is more Aries energy, right? What will you decide? Do you want to achieve this goal, whatever it is, in a very structured foundation, or is it something different, something that's a little bit, it's just different. You have two very different energies. You have one that's structured, one that's one that's a guaranteed hit, and then you have this other thing going on, right? And look, you have the Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Seven of Cups in reverse is Venus in Scorpio energy. Confusion clears. Whatever it is you're confused about, it sort of does clear. And you may feel limited because here you have limitation and fears. You may feel very limited, even though something is very good. Something's wonderful. You feel constricted. You feel like there's something. I understand that feeling. You don't want to make a mistake. I mean, who does, right? When we add this up and we break it down, we get Mercury. And that's Gemini, Virgo energy, yes, but it's also Mercury retrograde energy. And I have to tell you, oh, here it is. Mercury retrograde is in November. However, the pre-shadow starts on October 21st. The pre-shadow starts on October 21st. Same as that Libra new moon. October 21st, I don't know. There's something going on around, I mean, definitely on October 21st, something is going on here. Write down the date. I can't wait to re-pull these cards and really look at this because it's interesting. I really enjoy doing readings this way. I like getting the hints and then really examining each sign. But let's look at November. So you have vessels. Interesting. Now, this card also came in reverse, at least initially. So here you have the Seven of Vessels. Vessels are unique to this particular tarot deck. It's massive. I don't know if you watch me shuffle. Very massive deck. Vessels sort of encompass all the suits, right? And it is known as ether. Oh, sorry. So this, in short, this card tells us to accept who we are and who you are and who you aren't, right? You're no longer repressed by illusions and delusions, right? Embrace all sides of yourself, and only then you're going to feel harmonious. Yeah, you have to embrace something that's been in the dark. You have to embrace something that you've been repressing or that you haven't been addressing. And I do think it's something within you, and it's something that you need to look at, because look, here you have your card, the moon, coming in reverse, but this will just add to your clarity. Okay, in November, you are going to gain some clarity because this leads straight into the Ten of Wands in reverse. And the Ten of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius energy. A burden is lifted. Clarity at last. And you have here the Nine of Wands in reverse. The Nine of Wands in reverse is Moon in Sagittarius energy. Letting go of the past, right? Getting the rest you need to. This could be getting the rest you need, because we know that this is the Wounded Warrior card, and this could have been a stressful decision for you, but you're no longer stressed here, right? You have that burden that's lifted with the Ten of Wands in reverse. You do. And here you are no longer working on something, but you feel this sense of freedom. Yeah. There is something you're going to walk away from. I don't know what it is, but you're walking away with that Mercury in Virgo energy here reversed. And you have Uranus leap. I mean, you see it right here. You don't need, it's an opportunity. You don't even need to be a tarot reader, right? You have that Aquarian energy on the table. That is very innovative. When we add that up and we break it down, we get Venus energy. So once again, some of you were talking about a relationship with that Venus energy. Venus also rules our money. So for some of you, it is absolutely about work. It's about goals. It's about something that you have been repressing. What have you been repressing? Here we have these three cards. Look, September, October, and November. I am going to kind of more or less shuffle these cards. Which month is the month that is going to be the most prevalent for Cancer? October. It really makes sense, right? Doesn't it? Because all major arcana. All major arcana. You're going to uncover something here, right? It's almost like the buildup, the culmination, and the release, right? That's exactly what it looks like. Let's do your numerology. When we add everything up and we break it down, we get Neptune energy. That does not surprise me, right? Neptune, Piscean energy. It's that foggy sort of, looking at something with rose-colored glasses. Maybe you've been doing that a while, and finally the glasses are removed, and now you can see. It's sort of like this Seven of Cups energy here, for sure. And the number that came out the most, interestingly enough, was number 7, which is Neptune. So you have Neptune here doubling down, right? For sure. Out of the signs that came out the most were neck and neck with Aquarius, which is that Uranus, Saturn energy, and Gemini, which is Mercury. I'm telling you that Mercury retrograde shadow, pre-shadow. Look at that. The signs in general were Aries, Scorpio, Leo, Gemini, Pisces, Aquarius, Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Cancer. The planet that came out the most was Mercury. So there it is, Definitely Spirit doubling down on Neptune and Spirit doubling down on that Mercury. October 21st. What did we say? October was pulled as the most valuable, important month, and October 21st came out twice. So definitely look towards that, and please let me know, because I really need to know. I'm invested, plus I'm a little nosy. I wish you all the best, and don't forget to listen to your birthday reading. 3 blessings that are coming just for Cancer in 2025 and 2026. Namaste.